Sinead O'Connor, activist, singer-songwriter, spiritual being, woman, human being, human being.
Do you feel that your life's changed a lot in the past couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I think life changes for everybody. Do you know what I mean?
What would you say were the main things that have happened to change you?
Well, that I put a record out, or, you know, I went on tour, you know, I had a baby, I got married, I became 23, I don't know, just life.
Were you surprised that you received a Grammy nomination?
I was very surprised, actually. I didn't really, it wasn't something that I had thought about or that was even a possibility as far as I was concerned.
Though the earth may shake me, though my friends forsake me, even that couldn't make me go back.
Sometimes you say things that amaze me. I wonder if you even believe them. You said that you were ugly and hideous.
Yeah, everybody feels that, though. I mean, every girl goes through phases of feeling like a dog, you know?
And that day you felt ugly and hideous?
I feel ugly and hideous today as well.
Stop. Don't you realize that you can't cut your head bald and look this beautiful if you're ugly and hideous?
Well,
you're a very attractive woman. You can't believe you're ugly and hideous.
Sinead didn't always feel beautiful, but she did stand up for what she believed in, did her bit to highlight and tackle issues including war, child abuse, racism, abuse of power, materialism, and so on. She was ahead of her time, and without the aid of social media platforms, her strong views often clashed with the status quo of the time, especially in the 1990s.
first of all, I want to point out that it's not just the Grammys that are pulled out of the English awards as well, the English equivalent. The reason that I wanted to pull out was because I believe very much that the music industry as a whole operates mainly, it's concerned mainly with material success, and a lot of artists I think, are responsible for encouraging the belief among people that material success will make them happy. And I think one of the ways that the industry encourages commercial success and materiality is by having award ceremonies which very much honour those who have achieved material success rather than people who have told the truth or who've done anything to pass information to people or to inspire people or to, you know, just be truthful about anything, you know what I mean?
Can a lone woman have a voice, talk the issues, take a stand, be outspoken, vulnerable, and be heard, and not shot down and ostracized?
As far as I'm concerned. But it's very, very difficult just as a 24-year-old girl, like, to be the butt, as I said, of such an enormous amount of hatred and venom and personal abuse, you know what I mean? It really gets to be a bit of a strain. You know, there are things that I really like, but this kind of thing, that it's not easy to be the butt of an awful lot of venom and hatred that gets directed at you merely because you've said that you're sorry over the fact that there's a war happening, you know, and that you'd like to do something about it, you know what I mean? There are millions and millions of people who feel exactly the same as I do. If you forget that I'm in any way a public figure, you know, there are billions of people that feel exactly the same as I do, and they don't have the opportunity to say how they feel, and people like us do, and we should do, as far as I'm concerned.
Children, children, fight. We find it necessary. We know we will win. We have confidence in the victory of good over evil. Fight the real enemy.
inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Everywhere is war until there's no longer first class or second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. I've got to say war until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race. I say war, and until the ignoble and unhappy regime which holds all of us through child abuse, yeah, child abuse, yeah, subhuman bondage has been toppled, utterly destroyed. Everywhere is war.
Yeah, to me the Pope symbolises everything that is evil. He is a symbol in particular. That pictures of him when he did his tour of Ireland. Ireland has the highest instance in Europe of child abuse. I experienced it myself, and I found his presence in Ireland, telling the young people of Ireland that he loved them, hilarious. At least when I studied the history, I found out that the people who were responsible for telling lies in the first place were the Vatican, who through permitting the invasion of countries and the destruction and murder of entire races of people in the name of God and for money, and then their subsequent overtaking of the educational systems of all the countries that they went into led to distortion of historical fact, similar to the type of distortion of fact that you see going on in the media, for example, and that is what has led to the murder of the human spirit, which has in turn led to the abuse of children, to put it in a nutshell.
I'm saying, what can you do? You know, ripping up the Pope's picture may stimulate conversation, or it may bring attention to your feelings about the issue. But as I said, there have been hundreds of other people who feel and know some of the same things you do. What can all you people who feel that way do? Because just feeling a way about something and having a point of view is useless if you don't translate it into positive action.
Well,
Are you doing what you're doing, you know, in terms of talking about Ireland and talking about the Pope and Catholicism and so on? Is this in support of any particular group or ideology?
It's in support of the idea of everybody, all people, realising that instead of fighting each other, there's one enemy to be fought. There is one reason we all have in common for our pain, and we all have differences and all that stuff. But that's been done to us. It's been done to us that we fight each other. The thing to do is fight the real enemy, which is the lie, which has been perpetuated by the Roman Empire. What it boils down to is this. Child abuse, I believe, is the root of all evil. And what it boils down to is this: if you saw a child in front of you being raped, what would you do? Or if you saw a child being beaten up, what would you do?
That's mood.
Well, you'd stop it straight away, wouldn't you?
Of course, as I'm saying.
Well, okay, well, even though we can't see it in front of us now, it's happening as we speak to millions of people. And
we should be doing something to stop it, basically. Right, well, anything that perpetuating them kind of negativity, you know, should be put to a stop to it. And, you know, it's good that you're at least saying something about it. As I said, let me get this in quickly about Madonna. How do you feel then? You see, the society reacts to Madonna differently than they react to you with what you have been doing recently.
they react in the same way.
In the same way, explain that.
That they don't see either of us as normal human beings.
Well, that is true to some degree. All right, so do you believe that you can achieve and stimulate some change with what you're doing?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. If if that wasn't true, then Pepsi Cola wouldn't want their emblems in the corner of pop stars' videos. No, the alternative to telling the truth, the alternative to actually getting to the other side, having completed what you came to do, whatever it may be.
As soon as you tear up the thing, them ready to shut you off of the TV and them kind of thing. You see everybody disappear and leave you blank and them kind of thing. So it's not easy. But, you know, just talking about it or singing about it, people have been singing about it. Bob Marley sing about it and dead and gone. All them do is sell them record and make more money. And the evil empire, them just get bigger. What you going to do?
Well, I think for a start, if everybody stopped saying you can't and started saying you can and started saying we can instead of saying we can't. If you believe in God, then you believe that you can. There's one way to change things, and that's to put into action, as you say, what it is you truly believe in, which, if you believe in God, surely is the love of other human beings and the belief that God lives inside you. So that if you follow your instincts and your feelings, having digested all the other information, you will be all right. And yeah, so we have to tell them.
Are you going to start using your music to do that?
I've always used my music to do that.
In terms of, so then does that include your recent use of the Bob Marley tune Dear War?
Well, obviously.
Okay, so why did you choose to do that song?
Because of what it says.
But you know, you could have made up your own song.
But why should I have when there's a beautiful one there already? And I would have written one that would have said it.
Is it just that one reggae song you like, or do you like reggae at all?
Yes, I do.
Okay. My name is Sinead O'Connor. I'm an Irish woman and I'm an abused child. The only reason I ever opened my mouth to sing was so that I could tell my story and have it heard. The cause of my abuse is the history of my people, whose identity and culture were taken away from them by the British with full permission from the Holy Roman Empire, which they gave for money and in the name of Jesus Christ. The only hope for me as an abused child was to look back into my childhood and face some very difficult memories and some very painful feelings and a lot of very tricky conversations. I had to have it acknowledged what was done to me so that I could forgive and be free. So it occurred to me that the only hope of recovery for my people is to look back into our history and face some very difficult truths and some very frightening feelings. It must be acknowledged what was done to us so that we can forgive and be free. If the truth remains hidden, then the brutality under which I grew up will continue for thousands of Irish children, and I must by any means necessary, without the use of violence, prevent that from happening because I'm a Christian. Child abuse is the highest manifestation of evil. It is the root and effect of every addiction. Its presence in society shows that there is no contact with God, and God is truth to me. The Catholic Church have controlled us by controlling our education through their teachings on sexuality, marriage, birth control and abortion, and most particularly through the lies they taught us with their history books. The story of my people is the story of the African people, the Jewish people, the Indian people and the South American people. My story is the story of countless millions of children whose families and nations were torn apart for money in the name of Jesus Christ. God is truth, Sinead O'Connor.
Once upon a time there was Irish ways and Irish laws, villages of Irish blood, waking to the morning, waking to the morning. I'm gonna say songs of loving and forgiving, songs of eating and of drinking, songs of living, songs of calling in the night, 'cause songs are like a bolt of light, and love's the only love you should invite. Songs of longings but fulfilled, songs that won't let you sit still, songs that mend your broken bones and don't leave you alone. So get me down from this here tree, take the road from off of me, set me on the floor, I'm the only one I should adore. Oh, take me to church, I've done so many I wanna be a real full woman, yeah, and live like a real full woman every day. And I wanna make love like a real full woman, every day. Yeah, I say I wanna make love like a real full woman. Don't stop me talking about love. How am I gonna find what I'm dreaming of? Don't stop me talking about love. I got to find what I'm dreaming of. Always gotta be the lioness, taking care of everybody else. A woman like me needs love. A woman like me needs a man to be stronger than herself. Don't stop me talking about love. How am I gonna find what I'm dreaming of?
And you picked up on this campaign from a few months ago, I'm not bossy, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
You know, that's the title of the album.
Yeah.
Bossy is such a difficult word for women, isn't it? What do you mean by that?
What do I mean by?
Yeah, and when you're putting your name to that, how
Right.
do you interpret it?
Well, do you know what? I basically, the campaign came around in February, and I'd never really heard of it before, but in the music business, a lot of artists will confirm this, that musical artists, male and female, we're often treated as if we're working for the people who are actually working for us. So you sign your deal when you're a teenager, you kind of get, this thing gets inculcated in you that everyone's doing you a favour. And in fact, it's the other way around. When you sign a record deal, you're doing them the favour, but it's encouraged in you not to perceive yourself as a boss, to perceive everybody else as the boss, and to go along with everyone's agenda and not be difficult. Easy is going along with everyone's agenda, which is usually financial, and it's not always the artist's agenda, it's financial, you know. And I find that that's slightly exaggerated when you're female, to be validated as a boss, to be heard, or for people to actually act on something you might ask them to do. You'll ring your accountant and looking for documents, they'll tell you don't need them. You'll be told you shouldn't have internet banking because you might press the wrong button and spend all your money. Stuff like that. Or you'll issue instructions to your very expensive lawyer who will ignore your instructions and take instructions from your even more expensive somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Which are in opposition.
Yeah.
So that's often the way it goes. When I saw this campaign, the campaign was aimed at young girls, really. It's more the campaign about you know, not putting pressure on girls when they want to be assertive, encouraging girls to be assertive, and obviously I would identify with that. But I actually found the campaign inspiring as a female boss, that as a direct result of the campaign I was really able to take my power as a boss, in fact, and let go people who I felt were... The irony is people like me and singers and that we have this huge public voice, but behind the scenes we're voiceless quite a lot of the time. So the campaign really allowed me to take back my voice, you know, and behind the scenes, and be able to have people around me who really wouldn't invalidate.
I don't know what to want from this world. I really don't know what to want from this world. Don't know what it is you wanna want from me. You really have no right to want anything from me at all. Why don't you take it out of somebody else? Why don't you blow the shit out of somebody else? Why don't you tell somebody else that they're selfish, a weakling, coward, a pathetic fraud?
The years of being strong, the backlashes and negativity, as well as being misunderstood, took its toll on Sinead O'Connor, manifesting as mental health problems. At times, even a leader or icon can feel vulnerable, isolated, frustrated, and alone. Anyone can feel this way, but often amplified in a person who's in the public eye. In the following video clips by 2017, she shares her feelings at the moment in her life in the hopes that people will show compassion for each other through lonely or hard times, especially women. But do you really need to have had a health issue to relate? Have you ever felt alone or ostracized as a woman?
I hope that this video is somehow helpful. Not actually to me, but the fact I know that I'm only one of millions and millions and millions of people in the world that are just like me, actually. Things that meant it okay for everybody to use the fact that I suffer from 3 mental illnesses as something to beat me with rather than as something with which they might, be compassionate. I'm all by myself and there's absolutely nobody in my life except my doctor. I want everyone to see what it's like is why I'm making this video. Then mental illness, it's a bit like drugs. It doesn't give a shit who you are. And equally, what's worse? It's the stigma. It doesn't give a shit who you are. And suddenly, all the people who are supposed to be loving you and taking care of you are treating you like shit. And then when you're angry or you're hurt because they're doing it, it's like a witch hunt. They're pointing at you going to see, this is why we don't want to know. And it's like, oh. Ranting now and then on Facebook, which I'm sure you'll say, well, this is a rant too, which of course it fucking is. People be fighting for their lives. I don't want to die. I want to stay alive. I want to stay alive. I've got children. All my children. It's one of fucking millions, Mental illness doesn't care who you are, but worse, stigma doesn't fucking care who you are. And it's stigma is what's killing people. It's not the mental fucking illnesses. It's you have a family. If you have a family member who suffers from a mental illness, care for them. Tenderness, love, care for them, visit them in hospital. You don't dump them in a bloody hospital and bugger off. Hello, it's 2017.
I went to the doctor, guess what he told me? Guess what he told me? He said, girl, you better try to have fun no matter what you do. But he's a fool.
Wrote that song.
Yeah.
Did you ever actually meet Prince?
We did meet once, but we didn't get on very well. We tried to beat each other up.
Really?
We didn't get on too well, no.
You tried to beat each other up?
Well, it was more he tried to beat me up and I was defending myself. But
No.
Why?
Because
Hang on, that doesn't sound like a joke. That sounds serious.
Oh, it's not a joke, no. It's not a joke at all. It was a very frightening experience, actually. But
Where was this?
In Los Angeles. He summoned me to his house one night and I foolishly went alone, not knowing where I was. And he summoned me there because he was uncomfortable with the fact that I wasn't a protege of his. I had just recorded the song and he was wanting me to be a protege of his. And he didn't ask, but he ordered that I don't swear. 5 o'clock in the morning, we're running around his car, I'm spitting at him and he's trying to punch me. He's got a pillow that he's trying to hit me with. We're running around his car and I'm spitting across the car at him. Then I had to go ring someone's doorbell, which my father always told me to do if I got in a situation like that, So he was into some pretty dark drugs.
How did it end?
With me ringing the doorbell.
I don't mind fans singing the songs. My problem is when the industry covers the music. A lot of times people think I'm doing Sinead O'Connor's song and Shaka Khan's song, when in fact I wrote those songs. And it's okay when my friends ask to do them, but there's this thing called the compulsory license law, which allows artists through the record companies to take your music at will without your permission. And that doesn't exist in any other art form.
I said nothing can take away this blues, 'cause nothing compares to you. It's been so lonely without you here. Like a bird without a song. No more weeping and wailing. No more
I said I'd make a video because some of you are saying that you don't believe it's my account. It is my account. But fret not, I'm going to be a good girl. Trying to fucking film a video on the bloody phone, what do you do? 4K, fucking HD, fucking... What the hell is he talking about? I think we're in HD. I look like shit either way, which is why I didn't want to make a video. But, you know, the way your kid, unfortunately, passing away, it isn't good for one's body or soul, to be fair. But anyway, look, that's not dwell on that. Anyway, hi guys. Here's my nice flat. Let me see, can I flip the camera? Oh, well, anyway, there's a bunch of flowers my friend gave me today. My nice flat. There is my new Martin Johnny fucking Cash guitar that I am going to write some tunes on. And, yeah, that's all I can show you because the place is a shithole. But there you go. Yeah, it's this crazy bitch. Oh yeah, I got Vaseline all over my face too. Not for any good reason. Not for any beautiful sexual reason, I mean. But, yeah, it's good for your skin, but didn't I forget I had put it on? And then I said, oh, fuck it. Anyway, there you go. I hope you're all happy now. I'll leave you with this. Thank you for hearing me. 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 Thank you for loving 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 me. Which means for saving me. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving me.
Strong-minded women deliberately broken down in order to silence them, so we can't learn from what they have to say or contribute when it goes against what is established norms. Can we as women come together, empower and stand up for one another? A call for womankind to help women with compassion and love.